Get to sleep? Oh, it's hard to sleep.
Yeah, because you're uncomfortable because you have all these things attached to you.
That would make me uncomfortable too. Yes, very good. All right, you guys. So you have all had time to post into our webinar and discussion for week 15. So now we are officially going to start our webinar and examine your posts. So let's look down. So that should have been the first thing. So Dustin, we're just going to get a brief idea of what you guys said, and then we're going to analyze it. Okay, so remember, this is going to support systems of equations. So Dustin said the car is worth 300, and he said because the house is worth 1,000, that means that two houses are 2,000 plus the car would be 2,300 plus the 100 equals the hotel.
Yeah,
so logically makes sense. The only question I would have for Dustin, is how do you know that the house was worth 1,000? Did you just plug and check?
Yeah, that's what I did. I just guessed.
You know what? That's awesome, you guys. Okay, so because Janae said she did the same thing. Oh, and look, Kiona had the same. Kiona already posted a response. How did you find out a house is 1,000? So what Dustin would be doing is then he would respond to Kiona. So good. Kiona got 233.3, so very close to the 300. So Kiona, you divide the 2,400 by 4, probably because there's 4 objects. And then you got 600, and then you did 600 plus 100. Is that for the cash?
Yeah.
Well,
what I was thinking was since there's 4 items in front of the hotel, I divide that by 4, and that's 600. And so one of the houses would be 600. And divide the 600. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Okay. So.
Because aren't they supposed to?
Okay. Well, let's keep looking. So Kiona has some good logic with hers. I can see exactly what she's doing there, and actually that was good thinking. That was good thinking. And Tashana okay. So Tashana, you said it was worth 400, then you posted based on what the others said.
You told me to put that.
No, I didn't tell you to put that. So you always want to say how you got 400, because here's what I could say for sure, Tashana, right? Because I know you were thinking this too, because we talked about this. I mean, there's a reason you didn't put $1, right? And there's a reason you didn't put $10,000, right?
Yeah.
And that's because you have number sense, because you're thinking about it. You're thinking like, well, there's no way it could be 10,000 because that's more than, and $1, then it would make everything else. It just doesn't seem logical. So even if you're just guessing based on logic, it's totally fine. Tashana, totally fine. But always kind of have some reasoning. It doesn't have to be mathematical, but it could even just be your number sense or kind of what you're thinking. And then Janae, let's go down to you. And so Janae said 302. So Janae, the only thing is you just would want to explain. But I think we were talking.
Well, I did it on my paper.
Oh, you did? So that's good. Janae did explain on her paper, which is awesome. Excellent.
I did 1,000 and 1,000, and then I had to do the dollar, well, the 100, and then I just said, well, that's not enough, so I added up the car.
Good.
It was enough.
That is good. And you know what? That's part of life too, is just being able to make estimates and having number sense. So way to go, you guys. Way to go. So let's actually go back to our webinar then. I'm very proud of you guys for posting. Awesome. And let us move this over here so we can see everything. Actually, I'm going to pause this. So in our webinar, and where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, so here's our problem. The board game allows players to trade game pieces of equal value. So let's just see if you guys are right. So we've got guesses that are really right around we've got the 233, we've got the 300s, we've got 400 from Tashana. So here's what we know, right? The hotel is worth 2,400.
I was going to pick 400 at first.
Were you?
Because I'm like, a nice car is not $300. It has to be.
This could just be a special toy car, Janae. See how that, So here's what we know, and I just labeled that in there because sometimes that helps if you label. Now this is the process that we're going to call substitution, you guys. And I want you to think about, oops, let me get my pad going over here. So I want you guys to think about what you've done in the past with substitution. You have done some evaluating. So substitution is what this is called. And this is your first thing you're going to do with systems of equations when you guys are doing that. So think about this. What if I gave you this equation? What if I gave you y equals 3x? But then let's just say I said that x equals 2. Would you be able to tell me what y is? Kiona said 6. Dustin? What would you say y is if I said x was 2? Or how about this? Because Kiona gave me the answer, 6. What would you do with the 2 if I was telling you to solve and find y? What would you do?
Would you put the 3 and
No, you can say it.
I was gonna say put the 3 and divide it.
You're on the right track. You're on the right track.
Divided by both sides.
Oh, if you were going to solve for x,
Oh.
But I'm saying maybe what we could do is use both these expressions or equations. And could I figure out what y is if I had these two things, if I had these two equations? What would I do to figure out what y is? How did Kiona get 6? Well, she told me that y was 6. So let's actually look. Oh, no, Skylar's not with us. I can't ask. So what about this, you guys? If x is 2, does that mean that I can make this x up here too? If x is 2? Mm-hmm. Dustin, what do you think? Dustin. Yeah? Do you think? Can I do that? Yeah. Yeah? Shoshana, what do you think? Could I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Kiona, is that what you did? Yeah. Yes. So if I did that, then I can really just say that y is equal to 3 times 2. So that's how Kiona knew that it was 6. So something like that is exactly what I can do up here, you guys. So if I know that these houses are the same thing as 3 cars and 100, can I exchange each house for 3 cars plus $100? Could I do that?
No, because I don't think it's the same price. But I don't know. I didn't count it.
Well, think about this, Janae. So this little blue house is equal to 3 cars plus $100. So if I take this little blue house down here, I could replace it with 3 cars and 100, right? It would be worth the same. It's kind of like if I gave you my coat and you gave me your coat and we paid the same amount, we wouldn't be out any money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is exactly what we're doing right here, you guys. So if I take and I'm doing my substitution, so instead if I have my 3 cars, so I have 3 cars for the first house, right? And I have $100. And then for the next house, I also have 3 cars, and I have my $100. 6 cars, plus what do I already still have on that side? I have 1 car that was already there, right? And I have $100 that was already there. And the whole total we said equals $2,400. Well, so Kiana is thinking, she's on the right track. So think about this, you guys. I only have 1 variable over here, right? Just cars. How many total cars do I have?
4. I mean, 7.
So,
Right.
so we've got these 3, right? Plus these 3, plus this 1. How many is that? 7. So I have 7 cars.
Plus what one? There's only 3 cars up there. I mean, 4 cars up there. I'm confused.
Oh, okay. So do you see where where I drew my red lines, Janae?
Yeah.
So if you think about, so each one of these houses was, so this is a house, right? The house is the same price as 3 cars plus $100, and this was a house, right? And so I replaced this house right here with an X and this house right here with an X with these things, 3 cars and $100 for each. And then I still have this car and I still have this $100. They didn't go anywhere. So that's this car and the $100 down there. So if I add up now how many cars I have, 3 plus 3 plus 1, I have 7 cars. And then how much cash do I have on that side? Oh, that should be 100, not 1,000. Sorry, you guys. There's too many zeros on there. 3. Very good. I have $300. So if I have 7 cars plus $300, that equals $2,400. Now let me ask you guys, because you are really good at solving equations, can I solve for cars? Yes. So what would I do first? Okay, Skylar, that's fine. What? Yeah, Skylar? Oh, Mr. Trainer. Okay, that's fine. So you need to work with him? Okay. Just make sure I saw your post, so nice job. And then just make sure, Skylar, that you go back in and post to somebody else's and then watch the rest of our webinar. How about that? Whenever you're done. Does that sound good? I mean, well, just post to somebody else's response, like with a question or a comment or something you might have. You could even post something you learned from the webinar when you go back in and watch it if you want. You're welcome. I'll see you later, Skylar. Bye, you're welcome. Okay, so Kiona, sorry, you said to move the 300 to the other side, right? Okay, so we're moving the 300 to the other side, and then we are left with 7 cars on the left and $2,100 on the right. How would I solve to get 1 car? What do I have to do now? Divide, yes, very good. Divide just like you do in math. And you guys, here's the big thing. So you guys were all very close. 7 divided by 7 means 1. So we have 1 car is equal to 2,100 divided by 7 is 300. Yay! So very good guessing, good logic.
That was the longest problem ever.
Whew, that was a lot of work. Holy moly! That was, yeah, but you did, it was good. Your logic was still really good, actually, Ken. That was good. Tashana, why are you on your phone? Okay. All right, you guys, let's go back to our webinar then, and let's continue on. Dustin, are you with us?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Really? All right, you guys. So, oh, Kiona, this is for you. Absolute value. I knew that was going to be your question. See, and I made this just for you because I was surprising you with it. I was holding back. This is a special one for Kiona today. So you guys, our objectives today, we're just going to practice graphing some absolute value functions using translations because that's a new topic for you guys here, Core 1. But you'll use it all in my Core 3 class, and I think you also will use it in Ms. Jacqua's Core 2 as well. It's kind of an important concept to understand what translations are. Okay, so absolute value, guys, remember we make a V from absolute value, right? So whenever you graph an absolute value function, you make a V. Oh, actually, let's go back really quick. So one thing that I wanted to write on here for you guys, remember that an absolute value function looks like this. Y equals absolute value X. So those are absolute value bars. And if I were to make a table of values and graph, let's just say I start with -1. If I put a -1 inside for X, out pops a +1. If I put in a 0, out pops a 0. If I put in a 1, out pops a 1. So graphing that, it would look like the green one. So I've got a point here at 0, 0, and then I have a point at -1 right here, and then up 1, so that goes right here. And then I have a point at +1, up 1 to there, and that's how you get the V. Okay, because remember you always have to consider that when you have absolute value, you have to consider the number that's on the negative and the positive side to get your answer.
So both sides.
Mm-hmm. What, Kiana? Oh, I just made a table of values and plugged them in. Is that what you mean?
I don't get it.
Okay, don't worry about that too much, you guys. Here's the.
Well, I see what you did. You put 1 on one side and then you put 1 on the other side, but it's -1 and +1, right?
Those are your points. So
Yeah.
like this point right here The coordinates are -1, 1, which is this one right here. And then this right here is your vertex, which is at 0, 0, which is that one. You guys good with that one?
So it's always gonna be 0 wherever the line starts.
Well, that's what we're going to look at. For your parent function, though, yes.
Okay.
Think yes. So it's always 0. It always starts at 0 for the parent function. Okay. So the way to graph these absolute value functions is actually really easy. Okay. What you're going to do, there's things that you can, there's a couple things you can do, first of all. The v can either shift to the left or to the right. And that's if you have anything inside the absolute value marks with x. So do you guys see that minus h in there?
Yeah.
That will make the graph shift h units to the left or h units to the right.
What is h?
H is just a number. We don't know what h is yet.
Okay, so it's just a number.
Yeah,
Number.
it could be x minus 1, it could be x plus 5, it could be any number.
But how? Okay, so whatever, like the negative, goes to the negative side.
Okay, now that, no, because we're going to explore that actually, Janae. That is actually the biggest thing for everybody in all math classes is that negative or positive thing. That's kind of tricky.
Yeah,
So
well, on a graph like this, I would think that
you would, and that's a really good thing to think about because we're gonna look at that. So don't worry quite yet because that's tricky. But if you look at the one over here, the shift up or down, see how that k is outside of the absolute value bars? Okay.
Are you on the bottom or
Oh no, I'm up here. I'm right. I'm gonna put a little star by where I am.
okay, yes.
So that k shifts the graph up or down. So that's just like a b and y equals mx plus b. The k is just like your b, and that makes it go up or it makes it go down. And k is just a number too, just in case you're asking. So this could be +5 or it could be -8 or something like that. It's just a number. But
when we get the problems, there'll always be a number by it.
Maybe not. There might not be. So we'll look at it. Well, if there, oh, yeah, no, there'll always be, if there's a k, there'll always be a number there.
Okay.
If there's an h, there'll always be a number there. I mean, it could be 0, and so you wouldn't see anything, but if there is a number, it'll be a number. You'll never have a k, and you'll never have an h.
Okay.
Yeah, that won't be there. Now, you could put them both together, and you could have a -h and a +k, which are numbers, in your problem at the same time. So what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to explore this. So here's what we're going to do first. Just because you guys were a little bit confused, let's just go back to our parent function, y equals absolute value x, okay? So whenever you do a graph, you can make a table of values like this, and you can pick some random values for x. So I just like to do some negative and some positive if I don't know. So I'll try -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So I just picked them all in order, right? Well, if I plug in a -2 for x, what's y going to be? +2. Good. What about -1? If I plug in -1, what's y? Did you say 1, Kia?
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Janae, what if I plug in a 0 for x? What's y going to be?
Y is going to be 0.
Very good. All right. Shoshana, if I plug in a 1 for x, what would y be? If I plug in a 1 for x, what would y be?
If you plug in 1 for what?
Are you looking at our webinar screen?
Yeah, I just could hear you.
Okay, so if you plug in a 1 for x, what would y equal in this equation? What's the absolute value of 1?
Y is going by 0.
No, just 1. Okay, what if I plug in a 2, Dustin? If I plug in a 2 for x, what's y going to be?
2.
2, good job. Okay, so then the next step is to graph these. So to graph -2, 2, I go out to -2 and up 2, right?
Yeah.
To graph -1, 1, I go here. 0, 0 is right here. 1, 1 is up here, and 2, 2 is up here. So do you guys see how this looks kind of like what we looked at earlier?
The V.
So it automatically, absolute value will always make a V. Now you guys, here's the key, the whole reason why I did this. What is my vertex? What are the coordinates of my vertex? Do you guys know what the vertex is? That's a very important question.
like, is it supposed to equal something? Or
A vertex, so that is the important question. So we have to know what a vertex is before we can answer that. The vertex is actually the point where the two lines meet.
okay, so in the middle.
Yes.
Where the 0 is.
Yeah. So what are the coordinates, Janae? What's the coordinates of this point then right here?
0. Wait, -0.
Well, then 0 is 0. It doesn't have to be negative, yeah.
Okay.
0, comma. So for the x is 0, what's the y right here?
Where?
Where the
Right
vertex?
It's.
Oh, that's
Wait. So
I know, that's strange.
you said the y is 0.
Well, the x is 0, right? Because we didn't go left or right. How far did we go up or down? We didn't. So it's 0, 0. And look, I have it right here in my table too. So that's what you always want to identify.
Two, well, there's one. There's two of the same one. Never mind.
There's lots of points.
Yeah.
No, it's okay, Shanae.
No,
There's
because there's the same of everything. So I just
Oh.
made myself dumb.
yes. But so the key for graphing an absolute value function is to find the vertex. Now look up at your problem, y equals absolute value x. There's nothing in with x, right? There's no h and there's no k. So that means because there's no h, h is 0. Because there's no k, k is 0. Okay, so I want you to think about that. And now we're going to do translations. So All right, you guys, we have this +2 on the end. So does that shift the graph left or right or up or down? Up or down. Very good. So now just out of a guess, would you think that it would shift it up or shift it down? Up. So we're just going to verify. We're going to do some points. Tashana, what? Oh. Okay, so if you plug in a -2 for x, now you guys, so actually Justin will go with you. Then you're going to get it. If I plug in a -2, what is y going to be on this equation? What's the absolute value of -2? Not the whole equation, just think absolute value -2. What is it? 2. And what's 2 plus 2? 4. Good. Very good. All right. Tashana, are you with us or no?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I put in a absolute value? What's the absolute value of -1? What's the absolute value of -1?
1.
Good. And what's 1 plus 2?
What was that supposed to?
Uh-huh. Good. So the next point is going to be -1, 3. Kiana, I'm going to give you 0. Give you an easy one. What if you plug in a 0? Good, you get 2. All right, Janae, what if I plug in a 1? What do you think?
You get 3.
Very nice. And I'll just do 2, and that'll get you 4. So I'm doing this the long way. I don't want you guys to have to do long tables like this, but I'm only doing this just to kind of show you. Do you like the tables? Okay. You guys can do tables. I'm totally good with that.
Because they give you where you need to plot.
They do. They do. And I am going to show you guys a shortcut too. So I plotted this, and Kiona, I think, predicted that the +2 would shift the graph up 2, right? Did you predict that? And is my vertex shifted up 2? Yeah. Yep, it is. So you predicted correctly. My whole V is shifted up 2 spots, right? What are the coordinates of my vertex? Go ahead. 0, 2. So instead of being 0, 0, it's 0, 2. Now look at my equation, you guys. If I am looking at h, comma k to be my vertex, h is in here, and it's 0, and k is out here, and it's 2. So think about this. I could just find my vertex, 0, comma 2, plot it, and then I could just go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Because on all of these, the slope, since there's nothing in front of x, is always just going to be up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Blah, 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 blah. Forever, forever. Into eternity and beyond. But we're not going to graph that. So now I'm going to show you guys with an h. Okay, we have an x plus 3. So this is going to be strange. So I'm going to actually pick some points for you guys. I'm going to pick a -5, -4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Okay, so I picked those on purpose because I know it's going to happen. Okay, who wants to do, what's negative 5 plus 3? What is negative 5 plus 3 actually?
Negative 2.
And what's the absolute value of negative 2? 2. All right, what's negative 4 plus 3?
Oh my gosh.
Negative
They're all
1.
fast, huh, Janae?
Yeah.
Negative 1. So absolute value of negative 4 plus 3, and you can do it on your calculator, so don't worry too much if you don't.
Okay.
Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. Absolute. You are good. I don't know it. Oh, that's for the, I'll tell you guys what that is. Okay, so I'm going to plot the points right now while Ms. Doran is chatting with everyone out there. Okay, negative 2, 1. All right, Janae, this is for you because you know how you were predicting, like, you asked about the negative sign versus the positive sign? Did my V shift to the left or did it shift to the right?
It shifted to the left. I mean.
Yeah, it did. But look, you guys, there's a plus in there, right? So it shifted the opposite way. Weird, huh? Isn't that weird?
Where's the plus?
Yes, we'll see how it says x plus 3 in the equation, Janae. Oh, I'm going to put a little star by the equation up here. See that?
Oh, yeah.
So it says x plus 3. So guys, that's what's weird is it shifts the opposite way. And you know what? Think about this. This is our x-intercept. And x is plus 3, but we haven't solved for x. If you were going to solve for x, you would need to then subtract 3 to move it to the other side, right? So that's why it actually ends up shifting left, is because you have to subtract it to move to the other side. But all I want you guys to think about for now until you go to a different core is that inside with the h, it's always going to shift the opposite direction.
Inside?
Mm-hmm. So here is our vertex, negative 3, comma 0. So it's the opposite, and there is no h. Okay, so remember that our vertex is h, comma k, and our h is going to be up here with the 3, only the opposite sign, and our k would be out here, but there's nothing out there.
So that is.
That's our 0. The k. All right, we're gonna put this together now, you guys. We're gonna get faster. Oh look, I have 2. So actually, I'm not gonna make a table this time, you guys. I'm gonna be tricky. Do you want to do it by yourself? Okay, go ahead and try.
I still don't get it.
Okay, so Fiona's gonna try. Dustin, I want you to try by yourself.
And it's because of the X and Y points. I just don't get how you do that.
Okay. Well, the way so actually while they're trying it, let's actually look back. Actually, Janae, so let me look back at this one. I just picked whatever X points I wanted.
You just picked whatever.
Mhm.
And you just did them in order.
Yep, always do them in order with this. So if I start with
For the
negative,
X.
yeah, just for the X. So I just picked anything. Actually, let's go back to like a parent function because it maybe makes more sense. Well, actually, let's go to this. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me go back to the equation actually. So actually, let's look at this one, Janae. So like if I was going to pick points, I could pick negative 1, 0, 1, 2. But let's just say I pick negative 1. So what I'm doing then if I pick negative 1 is I plug it in here for x. So I'd plug in a negative 1. So I'd replace the x with a negative 1, and then I would do the math. So I would have negative 1 plus 3. I would want to do that on my calculator in my head. And so negative 1 plus 3 means I'm actually going to be subtracting. Okay. So I would actually be subtracting. And so if I'm subtracting, then...
Oh, so after you get the X plus 3, you subtract. After you get that number.
Well, no, I mean, just because it's a negative 1
Yeah.
means I have to subtract negative 1. I'm taking away 1 from 3, basically.
Okay.
So it's 2. And then absolute value means always take the positive of what you get. Well, 2 is already positive, so we'd keep the 2.
Yeah.
What's your vertex, Fiona?
Oh my gosh. It's supposed to be one of the numbers in the equation, right?
Very good. It's actually, you're always going to be both of them.
Like when we did 3, it was always 0.
Yeah? See?
In the equation.
It's always going to be the number. If you see any numbers in that equation, that'll be your vertex. So Kiana, maybe one of your adding went off. So then, Janae, when you take absolute value of 2, if you add 2 to that, because see how there's a plus 2 on the end?
Yeah.
So 2 plus 2 is 4, so then the y value would be 4.
The y value.
So if you plug in a negative 1 for x, y ends up being 4. And that's how you do with the points and stuff. But now I'm going to show you the shortcut. So, Kiana, this is going to make you so happy. Are you ready yet or no? Okay, no. Dustin, do you know what the vertex is? I think Dustin is. Dustin, I think this is what happens at Gateway. I'm gonna test you when I'm over here and you're at Gateway. I'm gonna be like, Dustin, I'm gonna write something on the screen.
Normally I'm at home.
Oh, you are? I thought you were at Gateway usually. No.
I came
Oh, well.
here because I needed to work on journals.
Nobody ever is at Gateway.
I think you can do
I always
From the table? Well, let's actually use your points and then see what you did. So what x points did you choose? Okay. Now see, here's the problem with points, and I'm going to show you why with Kiona's. Because, so did you get 3 for the first one? Okay, so negative 2 plus 3 is 1. 1 plus 2 is... Oh, that's, yeah, so that's probably why.
I thought it was supposed to be 4. It could be anyway.
As far as your x values?
No, y.
Oh, your y is just going to happen based on what you plug in for x.
Okay.
So Kiona picked these numbers, but we won't see a v with these numbers because
It looks like it was
oh, you turn the number into a positive first. Oh yeah, always do what's inside first, and then so that makes sense. Okay, so actually, you guys, let's erase these points for now. Here's you guys. So here's your shortcut. Okay. Oops. All right. Look at your equation. We need to find our vertex. So Janae was on the right track. Our vertex is always going to be h, comma, k. All right, so let's make it simple. What's our k value? Let's do that first. That's your h. 2. I went out of order, sorry, Kim. So the k is 2, and we always keep the same sign.
That is the shortcut. That is the shortcut.
And then what's our h? 3, but is it positive 3 or negative? Okay, remember it's always opposite. Negative. So inside. And then, yep, so now I go to the graph and I plot negative 3, 2 and put my point. And then you guys, I can just do my slope as up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1 on both sides, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And do you guys see? I know you are so impressed. Look at how quickly we plotted that.
Wow, it's so fast.
I know. See, I made you do that. Now you're like, oh, thank you, Miss Elliott. Thank you. I'm so happy. So all we have to do is find the vertex, and you have your graph. All that work for nothing.
Where are you stopping at?
Oh, back here.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
at the 2. You started
at the
3.
oh.
Never mind. I see.
Are you? You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, that's all we have to do every time.
No,
so.
no.
Oh no. Okay, wait.
Never mind.
All right, go back. Want me to go back? Okay. All right, you guys. So really quickly, we're gonna find the vertex. So in your notepads, and remember, if there's nothing there, you're gonna put a 0. Okay. So on your notepads, last thing, you guys. Number 1 through 5 in your notepads. Doesn't that mean you too?
Yeah.
This is your last slide, you guys, and then you'll be free. Free.
For once.
But you better get it all right. Yeah, I know for once. You're never free in here, Dustin. You're always going to be taken.
Great.
All right, so good. Kiona, Tashana, Dustin. I know Skylar's gone. Janae. Okay, so you guys are all... If there's nothing there, it's 0. So if you don't see, like on the first one, if there's no K, you put a 0 there. You did? Oh, I didn't see yours. All right, you guys, type all 5. All right, Dustin, ready, set, go. When you mark it, set, go. Super fast. Find the vertex. So I'm going to make a little vertex thing right here. And I'm going to do the little line underneath. And Okay, we're going to have teams. We're going to have a race. Not really.
Please don't.
Okay, and you guys remember that X comes first and Y comes second whenever you're doing your points. So if you get finished before everyone else, just double check, go back and double check your vertexes. Oh. All right, you guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap it up because
Wait, I'm not done.
Janae, you have done a really good job already. I'm just going to tell you, you've done a good job. And you know what? How about this? Stay with me on this, and that'll be your, I'll count that as you doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
But I already wrote some down and I forgot.
No, I remember what you said.
But no, look, I'm writing them down.
I know. Oh, you are doing good. Okay, so you can just tell me. Okay,
Okay,
so.
but I'm not done yet. Okay.
Okay, Janae, 4. All right, she's on 4. We'll give her another second. Are you guys good with that? Oh, are you getting hungry? Did you bring lunch?
No.
You didn't? Oh. Are you leaving around lunchtime?
I don't know.
Is your mom?
I was planning on go. I don't care if I have to go with my uncle's cousin, but I was planning on staying there, but I understand that.
Okay, good. Good. Well, and so the only thing is because I was supposed to do an 11 o'clock one, but if we can finish this one.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, yay, Janae. Okay, you can just tell me your guess. What was?
Are we done?
No, wait, no, almost. We just have to go over the answers. Okay, so our vertex for number 1. So Janae put 1, 0, right, Janae?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're really close. Kiona 0, 1, also very close. Dustin -1, 0, correct. So here is why, you guys. Remember that the X comes first, right? It's okay, you had a different one. Your next one's going to be right, though. So the 1 is with the X, so that comes first, and it always switches the sign, right? And there's nothing for K, so that's 0. Yay! Okay, look at number 2. There's nothing in there for H, and so Kiona, you got it right. Nice job. Dustin, you're missing the negative on the 6, because that's not opposite. The one at the end stays the same. And then, Janae, what did you put? Oh, you put 1, -6. So see, you were really close. It's just that there's nothing there for H, so you put 0 instead of 1.
I did put 0.
Oh, you did?
Wait, for number 3?
2. Number 2. Number 2.
Oh.
Did
And
you?
I put -6?
You did? But you just put a 1 instead of the 0.
Okay.
And that's okay. That was just a little thing. See, sometimes you can do little things. Okay, so if I look at number 3, Dustin put -2, +4. So Dustin, you switch both signs, but only have to switch the 1 inside the absolute value. Kiona, you put -4, 2. So you're switching the X and the Y is all. So that should be -2 comes first, because you got to switch that sign, and then -4 comes second. Are you guys?
What are we on?
Number 3.
Okay, now what is it?
-2, -4. So you put 2, 4, so you're really close.
Negative.
You just forgot the negative. So remember, inside of the absolute value, switch the sign.
Yeah, I put negative in number 9.
Oh, that's good. Kiona, you put -3, but remember, switch the sign. So you got to have +3. I know, but not on the one on the outside, just the one on the inside. And so you should get 3, -9. So Dustin, good job. You got that one right?
Yay, I got it right.
You got that right too? Awesome. All right, guys, last one should be 1,7.
Yay.
You got that one? Dustin, yay. Kiona, almost. You just have to switch the sign on the 1. You're so close.
And I put a negative.
So
which
close. See? That means it's not really.
Close means wrong.
No, but you got the 7 right. And you actually got the 1 right. You just have the wrong sign. But do you see, anytime it's inside the absolute value, you guys switch the sign. All right, and if it's outside of the absolute value, you just keep it like it is, because that's your Y. So the Y stays the same. All right, you guys. Any questions? Dustin, any questions? Really? Are you sure? Tashana, any questions? Kiona, any questions? Does that make sense on the vertex?
I almost got them all right, except for the first one.
Different in the doing it on the webinar and having actually.
True. I can help you though. I will help you. All right, Janae, are you good?
Yeah, I only missed 2, but I have the right numbers.
I know. So
put
you're
one
getting there.
instead of 0.
You're getting there. Okay, guys. So what I want you to do is make sure that you go back into Schoology. Did you guys go back into Schoology?
Oh, but I went off of the discussion.
Oh. They just now is coming back in. We're ending now. So make sure you go in and watch the webinar. But you guys, so go back into the webinar and discussion. Kiona, you already posted, so you're good. So Tashana, Janae, Dustin, did you post to somebody else? No. So, and then Ide, post to the discussion and then respond to someone else's post. Okay? Okay. All right, you guys, and that will conclude our webinar for today.